पर मैं ज्वेलरी खरीद नहीं पा रहा बिकॉज गोल्ड इतना एक्सपेंसिव है। ज्वेलरी खरीदूँ कैसे? मेरे को फेक नहीं चाहिए।
Not just the industry, but also the HUID standard of the industry to consider 9 carat as a proper standardized hallmarking rate structure, not just to make it more lighter, to make it more affordable, but at the same time making it more solid as a product. Because when you add on more alloys and the gold content goes on,
Yet keeping the investment aspect in
yet
the mind.
keeping this, because when you're buying a 9 carat piece, you're making sure you're still investing on 30-40% of gold. So a lot of these corporate stores have a fixed target system of working wherein things are mass produced and target oriented, but culture that we develop in Multani Jewellers, we always make sure we go end and out there. You won't have Tiffany's owner are sitting there and curating that diamond necklace for you, but we will sit there and make sure we add that specific bead. If that's not suiting you, we'll guide you. We'll sit with you hand in hand and we'll make sure that piece is beautified.
Welcome back to Jewellery Insider with Shan Chawla. Today we have 90 plus 90 plus year old jeweler with us, Multani Jewellers, Keshav. And their family business has been going on for around 87 years, almost 90 years. And these guys have been able to cater consumers for so many, almost a decade now, and yet have those customer coming back to you. How are you doing, Keshav?
Hi, thanks a lot, Shan, for having me here. It's been a pleasure. And how we nurture the experience for any client that comes to our showroom since the past 3 generations, starting from my grandfather's time. So it's not just a story; it's actually a legacy. When people say you have skills which are passed down to generations, we have learned the skills of how to curate pieces which are unique, which are one of a kind, and they have intricacy involved. They have lightweight colored stones set in them,
Okay,
not just to make it
look
a
fancy,
bulky fancy piece, but it's actually a unique asset to have.
value and the emotion together.
Value and asset. So that's something which a lot of clients have been sort of facing.
So, Keshav, you know what? Let's, since we are here for the consumers, for the jewelry lovers, for the jewelry enthusiasts, let's break it down to the minimal. What is a diamond
Oh,
and how is it made?
so diamond, naturally known as a stone, which comes from the Earth's crust, is the hardest metal that is available to mankind.
It's a metal.
I'm talking about it's metal.
Okay.
And the very fact that you have airport highways where you see a plane landing, the tires which land on the surface of that road crust has diamond powder coated on it. So
Okay.
the very fact that it is used as the only product, the only hardest metal to safeguard from the most rigorous volatility possible,
Okay.
that itself shows the durability of that product.
Okay.
Besides, when you wear a diamond, so obviously it's not just a feeling of wearing a stone. It's actually it's a feeling of luxury. A lot of people mix it up with a lot of
Investment.
other things, investments, but it's actually not as compared to what gold is.
Diving deep on that conversation, gold versus diamond as an investment and as a perspective, how it should be.
So I think both of these industries have a beautiful fusion altogether with them.
Okay.
It is impossible to segregate the purpose of both because they both come together and beautify to make a classic jewelry piece. Having said that, a lot of people mix up with buybacks, with a lot of these commercial words which are used in our industry. Gold per se is an asset, is a commodity, is value centric, is something which has a demand and supply game to it, and it's a worldwide exchange factor which is common between countries. Gold is investment, gold has that asset value. When you talk about diamonds, diamonds somehow are misconceived and misinterpreted also, and mis
Understood.
explained and understood by a lot of clients as an investment. And I also take a lot of blame for this to all the family jewelers and the corporate jewelers in the industry, because they have been promoting it as an investment, whereas it's not. It's actually a luxury. When you started buying a fine unique MF Hussain painting, when you buy a rare gemstone or a fancy colored diamond,
Mm.
like you've been seeing on Christie's and
Yeah,
Sotheby's,
yeah,
one of a kind pieces are rare.
yeah.
And those are the pieces which come down from the earth's crust after years of research. And it takes a lot of effort to build up an entire environment and a gamut around it to get it out from the earth's crust. So
Okay.
uh, it
Affo-
is a rare, precious
Okay.
product to have as a timeless heirloom to possess with you, but it's not a commodity that you can compare कि इसके रेट आज गिर गए या उठ गए.
एक डायमंड जब तक वो माइन नहीं होता, वो कितने साल अर्थ में रहता है?
हर एक हीरा जो आपके आसपास है, every natural diamond that you have seen on your hands has taken a billion years to form. And it's easier to say the billion years, but there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of heat. There's a lot of
This is before
natural
dinosaurs
things.
as well.
Before dinosaurs, you're talking about ancient times when not
Ancient,
even all of these
ancient.
ancient. You're talking about when these countries were not born, when these
Nothing was there.
machines were not
Nothing was
there. You know, all of the AI was not there. We're talking about
So dinosaurs were not lucky enough to have a diamond.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I mean, a lot has gone behind doing the research of how pure or natural a product can be, and it takes a lot of effort to dig that down from the earth. And then there are parameters to grade it. So
Okay.
you would have a piece which is colored in the lowest form, in the yellows and the brown shades, and they would
The
have lesser
variations.
value.
The variations.
The
yeah.
variations.
Yeah.
And then those are the most easiest ways to understand how diamond is and how clean it is. The value goes up. How nicely it's cut, the value goes up. All of those factors make a difference.
Machine-made jewelry versus handmade jewelry. What are the differences?
So when you look at mass manufactured and large scale products such as machine chains and machine kadas and bangles,
Yeah.
all of these products have an assembly line production. They can be made in abundance,
Okay.
and it's a one button phenomena where the machine on the back of it, you invest, you add on gold to it, and then there's a huge quantity of those products coming out. All of those normally go out to these corporate chains of jewelers where they have to cater to the masses.
Okay.
Whereas handcrafted jewelry, when it comes to handcrafted jewelry, people should understand that these are pieces which take hours and months of hard work to curate a beautiful design. There's a lot of hand sketching that goes into picture, a lot of color elements that go into picture, and the product has to be unique. It's not just a product
True.
which you'll find around you easily.
That's true. What is the first question probably they'll ask you when they come to your store?
So a lot of people have been talking about making charges and the value additions in your product,
Okay.
and typically labor rates are some of the words that they use. Needless to say, a lot of people do understand, people who are well aware of the product in the industry, they do understand the importance of a unique handcrafted piece.
Okay.
Whereas the actual reason behind the phenomenon of labor and making charges goes behind how unique that product is. If you're talking about temple jewelry, for example, so there's intricacy that has gone behind carving each eye part. There's each feature of the god figure has gone behind creating it. Be it
Days of
diamond
work.
jewelry. Days and months. I think on an average, anybody who's making temple jewelry by themselves is nothing less than a month to make a single piece. So imagine 30 days of hard work of a Karigar team who's creating a piece which looks very different from yours. Even if the same Karigar makes that same temple
Absolutely.
pendant for you
They'll
and
still
me,
be different.
they will still be different.
Yeah.
So the very fact that the nakashi of both of them are different makes that product full of beauty.
One of one.
It is one of a kind, and it's a unique. You're not going to find it anywhere क्योंकि
True.
वो एक बार बना है.
Hmm.
तो आप उसको ताजमहल बना सकते हो. हमें उसके कारीगर के हाथ नहीं काटने हमने. But fact ये है कि उसकी हाथ की नकाशी है. And
True.
you know, when we talk about labor and making charges, all of these words are good enough for people who are comparing, assembly line mass product pieces which are going to be available at, any corporate chain store. for that
Okay.
matter.
Making charges in a handmade jewelry. Would it be more if days of work is higher or lower?
So worldwide, I don't know how far people in India have realized this, but it is the most important element when it comes to putting your labor force to make a fine piece. A fine jewelry piece takes hours of manufacturing. When you go outside India, a lot of people command that profit for a handcrafted piece, and they do respect the value of it, of the number of hours, that man hours that have gone inside it. But in India, I think people are lesser proud of their own reality. that pride is really missing. They should realize on every handcrafted piece that their own making is.
Yeah.
So I think that separately has to be understood for
Okay.
a lot of them.
Keshav, corporate jewelers such as Kalyan, Tanishq, Senko, and all these companies versus a traditional jeweler like Multani Jewellers like you, what were the key differences?
So I think we have a lot of our strong points which go in play, which have not been uh, marketed well in the past few months, but we've now started working on it with podcasts with you, and we're getting that word out to the public. Primarily, the main reason being is um, we get a lot of customization into picture. The designing is personalized. There is a rich cultural heritage that we get onto the table.
Yes.
We do not get products which are easily accessible and available to every jeweler per se or any manufacturer per se. We make our own pieces with our own hands,
Hmm.
with our own karigars team. And more so, more than anything else, one thing which sets us apart is that we would go all out, personalized, in terms of customizing, curating, and sitting down with a client. And as soon as you enter the showroom, I will sit with you one to one and make sure we're creating things which resonate with your color palette, your skin tone. You like them as per your birth chart.
Hmm.
And it is not just that it's a pretty piece.
Hmm.
uh, we would do anything to get it in time also. I mean, we
Hmm.
would do anything to make it in your budget also.
Hmm.
So a lot of these corporate stores have a fixed target system of working, wherein things are mass produced and target oriented. But in our culture, the culture that we develop in Multani Jewelers, we always make sure we go end and out there. You won't have Tiffany's owner or Ratan Tata sitting there and curating that diamond necklace for you, but we will sit there and make sure we add that specific bead. If that's not suiting you, we'll guide you. We'll sit with you hand in hand and we'll make sure that piece is
What are the
beautified.
making charges differences in a corporate and a traditional jeweler?
So I think if you start comparing diamond rates per se and the gold labor charges which are charged by them, and be it any of the details that are charged by corporates, they sit with a lot of profitability in mind, with a lot of company target, corporate targets, whereas a family jeweler would simply make that small margin to make sure that that good is passed on to the client at the right value
It's
as well.
not really about selling them from a profitability, it's about buying the client
it's
forever.
it's actually about engaging with the client as your own family.
Yeah.
We don't have targets to sell. We're not there to, if I have, for example, a 1 carat piece with me of a specific clarity,
Hmm.
a corporate jeweler like Tanishq or Kalyan or Malabar would try to just sell off those pieces on the table, whereas we would go end in end to get anything on table to get that client satisfied as per their budget. Be it a jewelry piece, we would customize it. If you have a wedding in your own family, if you've got a daughter's function that is lined up within a few days, we will make sure we put in our team day in and day out, and the piece is delivered to you at your doorsteps. And even trials for that matter, if you have your wedding and there's too much happening around you, we'll make sure we go out to you, we reach out, and we'll show you all the pieces. So that's how we do it at our company. And
Another aspect of making charges which I also wanted to was very curious about. मैं ना हर जगह देखता हूँ काफी एड्स आते हैं न्यूज़पेपर में ज्वेलरी विदाउट मेकिंग चार्जेस ज्वेलरी नो मेकिंग चार्जेस ज्वेलरी 1% मेकिंग चार्जेस
Right.
इसका मतलब क्या है व्हाट इज द रियल स्टोरी बिहाइंड इट
right. So whoever is looking at these Instagram reels, I'm
इट्स
sure
ऑन न्यूज़पेपर
it's on newspapers. Whoever, anybody and everybody who's watching these offline and online advertisements, which are merely a gimmick, according to me.
ओके
First, I would like to educate people on that whenever you are a business owner, you have your own hard-earned money that you have invested and built up over the years. Now you're coming down to a jeweler and saying that I want to buy a piece at the lowest making charges. We'll make sure we give you that, but you have to understand nobody is working for free. So anybody who's giving you a product with zero making charges, or maybe giving you false
1%.
practices or
Yeah.
malpractices being followed, people are underselling on the gold rates. People will not give you a bill. People will not give you a natural diamond certificate. All of these things are a mandate when you enter our showroom with 80
Also
years.
send dead stocks.
And they will try to sell off their dead pieces, which they would just cut down their own profit. So
True.
when you come to a showroom like ours, like how we do it at Multani, with 80 years of experience, it's a mandate to have everything HUID certified. You can check online the 6 digits on every small nose pin that you buy. It's available to you. The grams are certified by the government, and the diamond quality being natural diamonds, and the exact color clarity is being not just said by me as a jeweler, but there's a third party international lab who's guaranteeing my products. So whenever you go abroad, so your
Yes.
product has that value. So nothing assures a person of that value more than this. You have a product which is at every standard, it's qualifies as a it's appreciated everywhere.
Yeah.
If you go abroad, people will realize, okay, certificate hai.
रियल है तो बेचने भी इजी हो जाएगा, चेंज करना इजी हो जाएगा. अदर देन दैट मुझे ना यार आई एम इन अ डिलेमा. केशव, मेरा डिलेमा ये है कि मुझे सोना पसंद है. सोना एज इन नॉट दिस सोना. सोना पसंद है. सो सोने के पास प्राइस पहुंच गए हैं चांद पर. मुझे ज्वेलरी पसंद है पर मैं ज्वेलरी खरीद नहीं पा रहा हूँ बिकॉज गोल्ड इतना एक्सपेंसिव है. तो मैं गोल्ड ज्वेलरी खरीदूँ कैसे? मेरे को फेक नहीं चाहिए.
So what we have done in this, and we equally give empowerment to all the other metals that we have been dealing with, be it silver, platinum, and gold. We have now come out with we are urging the hallmarking board, not just the industry but also the HUID standard of the industry, to consider 9 carat as a proper standardized hallmarking rate structure, not just to make it more lighter, to make it more affordable, but at the same time making it more solid as a product. Because when you add on more alloys and the gold content goes on,
Yet
it
keeping the
becomes-
investment aspect in
yet
the mind.
keeping this, because when you're buying a 9 carat piece, you're making so you're still investing on 30-40% of gold. It's not like you're not buying gold. You are
Still
in the
buying
industry,
gold.
you are invested in the same precious metal. But at the same time, when you buy something which is more cost effective and easy to your pocket,
And with the value.
and with the value, looking at how silver, with the current growing industrial demands, how silver is picked up. So a lot of people have started considering getting customized silver pieces
Gen
in
Z are
lab
very
grown.
into silver.
Gen Zs are picking up because
Silver.
when you talk about tourists, when you talk about traveling, when you have a wedding in your family, you don't want to carry your 5 carat rock or your 2 carat rock. You feel scared. So back then, I think silver picks up, and 9 carat gold jewelry would be a very, very easy entrant and a stepping stone inside our industry, because that person who's now going to dream of buying 18 carat or 22 carat and buying a natural diamond will now step into your industry and just say, I would like to buy this. He'll first dream of it, and someday he'll buy the natural diamond.
Definitely.
Someday from silver, he'll graduate to gold. So it's a journey. It's a
Okay.
journey.
Speaking about lab grown diamonds, is lab grown diamonds cheating to the consumers?
Oh, well, that's something which has been running on every customer's mind, every jeweler's mind. One thing which you should realize, that natural diamonds and lab-grown diamonds are here to stay. Like you had cubic zirconias, you had mosenites. These are two different
American diamonds as well.
American diamonds. So all of these are I won't call them affordable luxury.
Coexist.
They will actually coexist, for the fact, because when a client comes to your showroom, they actually have dreamt of wearing a natural diamond.
Yeah.
They might just wear a lab grown for a for their occasions and for their weddings, and they're traveling everywhere around. But when it comes to buying a natural, I'm sure when that client is wearing for occasion where he's going to buy a lab grown, someday they're going to wear a natural on their engagement or their wedding, or their maybe when they pass
Special
it on to
occasions.
legacy. So naturals and lab growns are both here to stay. It is just a matter of acceptancy that a lot of clients and jewelers have to come out of their fear psychology and understand the fact that these two commodities, one is available in abundance, where demand will always be lesser than supply. Lab growns can be manufactured in the easiest process, in the fastest process possible.
Like a Xerox machine.
I mean,
Let's not go
that's
down
a
the road.
debatable question. But to be honest, supply of lab growns can exceed the demand for it at any given point of
Okay.
time, whereas natural have a rarity in the market.
Ask me the question. I'm giving you the mic to ask me, where do you think lab grown diamonds are going to be efficient? Go ahead. Ask me, Keshav.
Where do you think lab growns are going to go after a few
See,
months?
lab grown diamonds are an amazing an investment for the industrials. And how is that? As you said, आप एयरपोर्ट पे जाते हो, वहाँ पर नीचे डायमंड्स यूज होते हैं, यहाँ पर डायमंड नेचुरल लैब ग्रोन डायमंड्स यूज होंगे. Diamonds are an amazing conductors. We are well aware that semiconductors are having low tractions in the long time. We can start using diamonds at any time in the future when the R&D is done. That's where these lab grown diamonds are going to be used industrially for cutting equipments, for roads, for things like these, but not for jewelry. Definitely for jewelry, for people who want to wear diamond, want to dream of diamond, they will get one, but they will always still dream of natural diamond, because a 10 billion year old diamond, as old as a star, cannot be compared to a Xerox machine diamond. So sorry to be on the other side as a host,
No, no, it's totally.
but I have been very intrigued to people to know that. So going ahead, since Mr. Keshav is the next gen of the jewelry industry, where do you think AI is going to take the next gen in the jewelry industry?
So how we use AI at our own company at Multani, how we use it as an asset is we use it for a lot of data analysis. Obviously there are brands which have tried on have tried that experience of having virtually experiencing how your jewelry looks, but to me as a buyer and to people whom I've catered to over the years, nobody has had that confidence of buying jewelry online. So for me, AI is not there as yet. I mean, they still have a long way to go, and I'm sure they're going to bridge the gap within a few years from now. But as of now, they're not there, though we're using a lot of AI tech enabled diamond checking machines. We have these institutes from Surat and all across. I mean, we've bought from some from HRD and otherwise, where you come down to our showroom and we make sure the moment you enter the showroom, and if you have a doubt on the pieces that you bought from your earlier jewelers or somewhere around the market, we make sure, even if it's our own jewelry, we make sure we give you that education. We make sure we take you to the machine of not just the gold XRF checking of our own products that we manufacture by our karigars, cross checking that. If you have any old gold jewelry, you check it on them. The same goes for diamonds. Whenever you have any old diamonds that you're going to give and adjust back to that, it's a very easy process which is made like a very hoopla in our industry. It's a very transparent process. You get the evaluation done on the diamond checking machines, and within a few seconds you know if they're lab growns or they're HPHDs or they're naturals.
Yes.
So we make sure that process is followed inside our company,
Okay.
and it's all under the same roof, under the same umbrella. So to get that transparency and to get that level of trust in our clients, we make sure those basic practices are followed across.
Okay, that's something which you spoke about the current scenario of AI. From your perspective, AI can help the jewelry industry in what manners? Talking from the whole supply chain, including the consumer's perspective, what do you think where they can be?
So AI, I still feel has a lot of role to play. I mean, where we've been really using AI per se till now has been data capturing, and social media has helped us in a big way. I mean, capturing clients from Hyderabad and all around the country, and coming and buying high value products has happened with us. We've converted deals with social media. But what is still a challenge in AI, and what I still see building up over the few years, one, when a client enters your showroom, your client database, your client history can be tracked to the T. Which product that person has shortlisted previously, which color they had liked, how much of a value they,
What shapes
what
of
is the
diamonds,
lifetime value
sizes
of
of
a
the
client,
diamonds?
the shapes that he would buy, the sizes that he could buy. And especially the lifetime value of a client is an unmatched feature, which a lot of people would love to have. That when you enter the showroom, you know how much this person has bought and how much he has, that the
What
net
he
value to
buys
buy.
more? Does he buy the rings more, chains
I
more,
mean, sky's
bracelets
the
more?
limit. You can track his
Yeah,
social media.
with
You've got a lot of
stones.
data
Yeah.
coming from there. There are cookies around available to understand their interests. So that helps you to target your sales team, and to ask them to understand what the client's mindset is. So it's easier conversion there. So that is where AI can really help in the coming few years.
As a jewelry consumer, एक स्टोर को विजिट करने से पहले फॉर बाइंग ज्वेलरी, व्हाट आर द थिंग्स टू कीप इन योर माइंड?
सो जब भी आप किसी भी ज्वेलर के पास जाते हो, मेक श्योर करिए आप उसकी कुछ 4-5 चीज़ें ज़रूर नोटिस करें। मेक श्योर दैट सोशल मीडिया प्रेजेंस इज बैंग ऑन। आई मीन यू शुड आप उसकी सोशल मीडिया को देख के समझ इतना आपको लगेगा कि अच्छा यार, ये नेकलेस मेरे पे अच्छा लगेगा नहीं लगेगा, इस ब्रेसलेट के कलर मुझे अच्छे लग रहे नहीं लग रहे। गूगल रिव्यूज ज़रूर देखें उनके। यू शुड ऑलवेज सी कि अगर लोगों ने उनके बारे में कुछ अच्छा लिखा है, आई एम श्योर देर अ ग्रेट पेयर, एंड
Okay.
1 or 2 बैड फीडबैक्स, आई एम श्योर एवरीबडी हैज़ अ बैड
Yeah.
डे sometime. Then talking about not just the social media and upfront aspect, there's also designing that comes into picture. There's also price that comes into picture. When you talk about ethical practices being practiced, how transparent are they in their dealings? अगर आप आ रहे हो तो वो सिर्फ ना सिर्फ डिजाइनिंग नहीं, बट अच्छे प्राइस पे भी आपको मिले वहाँ पे, और ये एक इंटरनेशनल लैब सर्टिफिकेट मिले, और बेसिक चेकिंग मेजर्स वहाँ पे ज़रूर होने चाहिए. तो all of those mandates are really a must, that you should have a make sure you're checking on those factors.
That's amazing, Keshav. This was an amazing conversation with you. We spoke about multiple things, gold, diamonds. Keshav, मैं actually प्रेम जी से पूछने वाला था, but let me ask you this, Keshav. Natural diamonds, to be honest, have been disappointing for some time. And when do you think it's going to get normal, or is it going to be normal ever?
So a lot of people think natural diamond prices have been purely hit because of lab growns. They have not. They have been a co-partner in and collaborating in selling to the same set of audience in the market. It actually started when US and the China economy started facing an economic downfall, which is where their demand started falling down. But to be honest, India right now is in the best growth trajectory ever. You are making the maximum amount of natural and lab grown diamonds in the country. Goes without saying that we are making at the best prices also, but you are in the best country possible right now. So when you talk about both of these, slowly and gradually you will see lab grown diamonds being available at a clothing store, at the putteries. And I mean, it's not just a matter of few months or years, but the very fact that any counter commodity that comes and tries to target the mighty plea of what natural diamonds are, they soon know their value, and then you see American diamonds on costume jewelry on the streets.
Yeah.
Lab grown will have its own journey, but it's going to take some time. But at the same time, naturals will have their own rarity. They will always be the original product. When you're buying a Rolex, you don't buy a Rolex and wear those watches just to show it to the public, right? There is some sort of
It's on the heart.
there is some sort of a
It's on the
emotion,
heart.
heart, ego, whatever you may call it, that you feel good while you wear that original product.
I know.
So a feeling of a natural is unmatched,
I know.
and it can never be compared to any other
I
feeling.
can-
A
I can
person
really
who's buying a
understand
fake
that.
Rolex also someday
I know.
is going to buy an original. So
I know.
the same goes for a lab
The
grown
way I
product.
walk and talk when I wear a Rolex is very different than without one. Amazing.
Oh, yeah, it was a pleasure.
That was
It
an
a
amazing
pleasure.
conversation, Keshav. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything. And
Pleasure. Thank you so much.